Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Natalia Moczulska and this is the news. School voucher Get to Know Poland that will subsidize two-day educational trips for every class, every student in Poland is another proposal on the Law and Justice agenda. It was announced today by Education and Science Minister Przemysław Czarnek. The Get to Know Poland program has been in operation since 2021. To date, more than 900,000 students have benefited from the Ministry of Education and Sciences program. The program has been in operation for 2 years. It has been extremely popular. Each announcement of the new edition of the program resulted in thousands of schools applying for funding. However, only some of the schools were able to get it, as funds were limited, hence the idea to offer the program universally to everyone. Thanks to the funding of 1- and 2-day trips, up to 5 million students will be able to see Poland's most important monuments next year. This includes more than 300 places in Poland. With each edition, this list has been extended by more cultural institutions, important locations from the point of view of the history of our nation, places where you can conduct an outdoor lesson on history, geography, and the Polish language. You can learn by seeing and observing places of importance. According to preliminary estimates, the program will cost 1 billion zloty. The School Voucher Get to Know Poland program is also great news for the tourism sector and the Polish carrier industry. This is the fourth proposal this week in the election program. Previously, Poles heard about ideas for revitalizing old apartment buildings made of large slabs, improving the quality of meals served in hospitals, and increasing the sale of products from local suppliers in large retail chains. Today in the election campaign, we heard that the Law and Justice Party offered the first concrete proposal for healthcare. This proposal says, after 8 years of governing, they will give people food in hospitals. This is what we have on the table today. Finally, a promise. Law and Justice is making many more promises. After 8 years, it has noticed that there are large slab apartment buildings in Poland with which something must be done. We want to address this topic by building friendly neighborhoods, not only through revitalization or photovoltaics, but also through new space arrangements. It can't be that there are underground parking lots available to everyone in new housing developments, and that there are a few spaces for a select few in the neighborhoods with old apartments, or that there are rundown playgrounds. Unfortunately, there are still places that needs to be changed. Also on Saturday, the Civic Platform will present its election program at the party's convention in Tarnów. On Saturday, together with Michał Kołodziejczak, we will present 100 proposals for the first 100 days. This includes the package for the Polish countryside. We are well prepared for this, but since we have arranged the announcement with the Polish public and the media for this Saturday in Tarnów, that's where we will announce the whole package. So please be patient. Elections are won by keeping promises. They don't fulfill their promises, just as Tusk promised not to raise the retirement age, and then he did in 2011. According to the latest Kantar poll for TVN Facts and TVN24, it is Law and Justice which has the most support among Polish people. The elections in Poland will be held on October 15th. Day 2 of the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to Ukraine. Blinken visited the positions of Ukrainian border guards in the Kyiv region. He also visited a school in the Chernihiv region, north of Kyiv, where Ukrainian civilians had been detained by Russian forces in the opening weeks of the invasion. Yesterday, Blinken and Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba grabbed a quick bite at a McDonald's in Kyiv. Accompanied by U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, Bridget Brink, Blinken was shown personal protective equipment and military vehicles provided to Ukraine by the United States.
And I'm very proud of the fact that the State Department and INL has been your close partner.
Chief of Ukraine's Border Guard Service, Serhiy Deineko, thanked the Secretary of State for the U.S. assistance, saying it helped to save the lives of many Ukrainian border guards. Mr. Secretary, I'll be honest with you. Had it not been for the aid provided by the State Department and INL, our losses would have been greater. The first batch of bulletproof vests and helmets came from our friends in INL. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken condemned the deadly Russian attack in eastern Ukraine.
Now, what happened here happened at the beginning of the Russian aggression. But the atrocities and the impact it's having on Ukrainians of all ages continue to this very day. Just yesterday, we saw the bombing of a market. 17 people or more killed, many others injured. A market. For what? This is what Ukrainians are living with every day.
On Wednesday, 17 people were killed and dozens wounded when a crowded market in Konstantinivka was hit. The attack happened during Blinken's visit to Ukraine. On Antony Blinken's first day of the visit to Ukraine, he shared a McDonald's meal with Ukraine Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba in Kiev. The two top diplomats ate at a McDonald's in Kiev before a joint news conference and after Blinken met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Kuleba ordered a cherry pie, while Blinken opted for large-sized French fries. The two sat opposite each other and discussed the importance of McDonald's coming back to Ukraine. The world's biggest burger chain closed its restaurants in Ukraine and Russia in March 2022, following Moscow's invasion of the Eastern European country. But it reopened some branches in Ukraine in September of 2022, while in Russia, the U.S. company sold its outlets. They reopened in June of 2022 under new Russian branding. Blinken, the first top U.S. official to visit Kiev since the counteroffensive began in early June, announced a new package of U.S. wartime assistance worth more than $1 billion, including support for Ukraine's air defenses. Generative artificial intelligence tools, such as ChatGPT, are spurring talk of unprecedented transformation in many fields, including education and academic research. At leading Swedish university Lund, teachers decide which students can use artificial intelligence to help them with assignments. At the University of Western Australia in Perth, staff have talked to students about the challenges and possible benefits of using generative AI in their work, while the University of Hong Kong is allowing ChatGPT within strict limits.
So we didn't want a ban. So instead we've got permissive approaches which you can use it as long as you're certain that the assessment is valid, which by that we mean it tests the outcomes that we meant it to test, and that it's secure, which means that we know that that student did the work that we're assessing. And that's not always easy. That will improve over time. But because there are no reliable detection tools for a generative AI, sometimes we're going to have to make our assessments a little bit more controlled. So under supervision, usually that will mean like traditional examinations or clinical or oral exams.
At a university in Sweden, however, there is no ban on the AI technology. While some people think AI technology can be used as a useful education tool, some think it will impact the students' learning ability in a negative way.
Do you think students should be allowed to use generative AI before a policy has been formulated?
Well, I would say directly no, because in my opinion, this will really impact the learning ability of the students, because right now, knowledge which is gathered through reading books or reading different research articles or any other work, that cannot be supplemented by information which is generated artificially. So in my opinion, the student must have that basic prerequisite knowledge.
Launched by Microsoft-backed OpenAI ChatGPT has become the world's fastest-growing app to date and prompted the release of rivals like Google's Bard. Generative AI tools, such as ChatGPT, draw on patterns in language and data to generate anything from essays to videos to mathematical calculations that superficially resemble human work, spurring talk of unprecedented transformation in many fields, including academia. On Thursday, September 7th, UNESCO launched what it says is the first global guidance on generative AI in education and academic research. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Please stay tuned for Poland Daily Weather, Poland Daily Business, and some of our other programs. But for me, it's have a wonderful evening.